One great way to avoid intellectuals is to use public transport. They're never there. I don't know what you will keep and what you will edit. So I am a sanghi. Today's young people are, they're the chatterati, Basically chatterati, talk. They don't know anything. This is typical young people thing. They won't know anything. Kick them all out, he says. I'm a bhakt. It is okay to take money from George Soros. Bala Thackeray was an extremist right-wing person, okay? They're neither right nor left. They're nonsense. I'm a Manuvadi. One second. Close madadre barala sound. Even TV anchors won't know this. If your education comes from TV, basically you're screwed. None of these jokers are intellectuals, okay? See, if I was working in a job in one of these IT companies and I had said this and this interview had come out,
you'd be fired.
I'm sure.
There'll be a committee.
Yeah.
You'll be at a hearing.
That Maharashtra thing is really sad for the people of Maharashtra. Because Bombay is screwed, it is raining now and, they're everywhere they're trying to do the metro. Illa nan photo tagond bidtare. Actually, togolala, you're not so popular. Hangididre nim film alla full success agirodu. Yaru baradilla enilla. Ivuru alkondirodu. Iವರು ಹೀರೋ ಅಂತೆ ಯಾರು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಸರ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಕಚಡ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಆ ಪಿಕ್ಚರಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನಿಮ್ಗಷ್ಟೇ. I want to say it again, please record. Shiv Sena is an extremist organization. I would have been in prison. Filed an FIR, they said they wanted to arrest me.
Thank you so much for giving us your time. I know that you've had a very busy schedule. And this time when I say that in an interview, I actually mean it. I thought, since you told we'll start early in the morning, I thought we'll start afresh, we'll have a coffee. And then I didn't realize that you're just walking into your house from a late night shoot in Bombay.
It's the whole day is like this. See, I'll tell you what I'll do this interview. Then I have a set of interviews with 6 media, publications, online and regular. And after that, I have to go have a meeting with National Skills Development Council people. And post that, I have a meeting with the Environmental Trust that I'm a part of. I'll finish that, and much later in the evening, I'll go to my daughter's house because it's her birthday. And that is the reason I came to Bangalore. But the moment that people knew I was here, they planned the day for me. So that's how my day is.
But how's life in Bombay for you now? Mumbai, just to be politically correct.
Mumbai is good, but I go there for work. Mm-hmm. And even if I get, say, 15 to 20 hours off, I come to Bangalore and go back because there is so much work here to finish.
Right.
Everything is pending, and so many initiatives that we have started, we are not able to push it forward so easily. So, in fact, Bombay is less hectic than Bangalore.
But we are a few people who are still stuck in the 80s in our mind when it comes to Bangalore. And certain things we wish that it was the same as earlier. So, as a city, how do you think the journey has been for Bangalore, if you were to put that into perspective?
I don't think anyone imagined that, it was going to become a very big city till about the mid-80s. I remember the first flooding story in Bangalore when, what is now, what is that auditorium near Alliance France? Guru Nanak Bhavan.
Right.
Guru Nanak Bhavan has a basement,
Yeah.
There's a very big basement there, and where we used to rehearse plays and all that. I've seen the rehearsals of Nagamandala, that Shankarnag was doing there in that basement. Then it got flooded and they closed it. So when Ramakrishna Hegde was there, we heard about the first flooding, in the old Miller's Tank area. Because the Miller's Tank doesn't exist anymore. It has been encroached upon. And like many hundreds of lakes actually in and around Bangalore. It was a city of 1,000 lakes at some point in time. So if we say, we should go back to Bangalore, how far can we go back? I think the best of it, or whatever, the most tolerable Bangalore we had was till about the time that I think Devaraja's regime came.
I was thinking SM Krishna, but
no, till the 70s. Although I don't know what you will keep and what you will edit. Devarajas is worshipped in Karnataka as a kind of sagacious elder, somebody who's an intellectual chief minister, who was ahead of his time and all that. But, he may have been ahead of his time in terms of social engineering, because that is what he's most famous for his caste interventions and such, and how he empowered, the people of backward and classes and so on. That may be true, and who can grudge him that? And he certainly was, compared to the politicians of the day, he was certainly a kind of well-read intellectual person. But I think he had no clue about environment. I think the only chief minister who had a good idea of science, although I don't know whether he did anything about it, was J.H. Patel, who I would rate as the highest intellectual politician that in our times I have seen. Okay, so J.H. Patel was certainly a really bright thinking, politician.
But that doesn't necessarily mean that they actually implement policies well, or they can become very effective political leaders.
Well, I think by the time he
also
actually
done a movie about it. So
that's true, because by the time he got to power, he had become cynical, I think,
Right.
J.H. Patel. But in Devaraja's case, I would say he was responsible for some other nasty things. I think he was guilty of encouraging the underworld to be, to get above itself in Bangalore. Okay, I mean, cities have greasy underside, but this became really too close to politics. I think he regretted it, but that is, he was that. But the thing that I resent most about Devaraja's regime was that a lot of the lake beds of Bangalore started getting destroyed during his time. And he didn't understand Bangalore's topography and how it should be managed.
Right.
And why the preservation of its waterways and all was important. For instance, we had when the civil and military station was established by the British, which is now cantonment, they wanted water to be, so they found, although Bangalore itself is on a hill, they found a place that was higher than Bangalore, and from Hesarghatta lake for 32 kilometers, by gravity flow they got water to Bangalore. It's an amazing engineering thing.
Right.
Now that would have been a UNESCO site if you had preserved it, Well, from his time till later, till it came to Ramakrishna Hegede's time, when they destroyed Hesarghatta lake itself, they broke it and they put bore wells inside, whatever. Basically, our politicians and our politics have been callous about the environment because they didn't understand it. So I feel
you blame it on lack of understanding, because today I think politicians, the newer generation ones, are at least a little evolved. They may be aware if they're not educated. So in that sense, it's just irresponsibility, don't you think, that's continuing? I mean, we've been going on complaining about potholes and whatnot.
No, but everybody is irresponsible, not just politicians. I find it amazing that around the world, we have to keep debating this issue. We can't live like this anymore.
Yeah.
I think that is what we should first agree on. I think starting point should be, we can't live like this anymore. We need to change, should be the starting point.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is really slow on that. Some people pretend to be deaf. Some people pretend they are dumb. So basically, you can't have this conversation with politicians because they are like, they believe as though they live only for 5 years.
But maybe a lot of people do not know this. Even you had a stint as a politician. You even contested the elections.
Not as a politician. I wish I had the
But
chance.
what was the thought process behind that? Would you
see,
do that?
it was because of Prakash Narayanan, Lok Satta.
Lok Satta.
Because, he said, he convinced me. I'll tell you what he said. He said, see, when this was for corporation elections.
Yeah.
And he said, see, if a person like you contests, I hope you win, but even if you don't win, what will happen is that the questions they put to you will be very different from what they put to a person from a regular political party.
Right.
Because that will be only about numbers and castes and, vote bank and such.
Right.
Whereas when they talk to you, you will talk about, like I'm saying, city landscape, or, how will you manage Raja Kaluways, and, how will we solve the transport problem of the city, and, can we have sewage treated, this is what you will turn it into, and that is what is necessary at the municipal governance level, is what he said. So that is why I contested, and I'm very admiring of him. So although Lok Satta is not an active political party, if somebody asks me what party do you belong to, I'll always say I belong to Lok Satta. And if some party comes up that is like Lok Satta, I'll join it, even now. But I'll not contest elections because I'm not cut out for it. I'll answer that very quickly why I'm not cut out for it. See, politics in India, but if you have to ask a follow-up question, I want to say something about the Maharashtra thing now, okay? But,
sure.
But if you ask me, see, politics in India demands that you are more loyal to the party than you are to the electorate.
That's of today.
The Indian legal over time, certainly in the last 30, 40, 50 years, or the way it's evolved, it was that in the 10th schedule amendments, for anti-defection was done when Rajiv Gandhi had overwhelming majority in parliament. Right. I mean, nobody has achieved that. His grandfather did not achieve that kind of majority in parliament. But with that also, he made an anti-defection law that was, I think, ethically questionable. Because what it does is, supposing there are four of us, four parties that have contested an election, and I have spent the entire campaign, I've done a manifesto that my party has decided, and I'll come and, you're a candidate from the other side. You have your manifesto, and I just trash you completely. I say scandalous things about you, and say I'll tell the electorate why they should not vote for you.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll warn them that you are dangerous to the public and to the nation and state and so on. Okay. I'll do all that, and then I'll contest elections, and then I'll make I'll tie up with you, and we'll form a party. Now my MLAs will be given a whip to support you. They cannot vote according to their conscience. They have to be loyal to the party whip, and they must abide by it. Otherwise, they'll get disqualified.
Right. The point, why we are having this conversation is, at least we felt people who are right of center. The general perception is that we don't attract the 18 to 35 crowd. Is because if I were to put it very crudely, we are too uptight and too formal. And I think there is no attraction in that sense, for the younger crowd to actually watch it. But there's so many intellectuals just like you who are really cool and who I've known for a very long time. And we've been having conversations about anything and everything for a very long time. And I don't know why we are branded as conservatives sometimes. That's the reason I felt that we actually need to have this conversation in a casual manner. Which is why it was a little intimidating, because maybe you're used to all these cameras and you're a natural actor that way. For me, generally, I go to interviews unprepared because we are generally well read that way, well informed, and we follow social media about what's happening. And most of the conversations that I've had with my guests over the last 2 years, the best of them have happened off the record. So, which is why we conceptualize this show to have such conversations with people like you, wherein we can discuss all the serious stuff about politics, but also discuss literally nothing at all.
So let me pick some points from what you have said. The first is, the idea of right of center,
Yeah.
which means what is left, what is right, and what is center. That is problem one. Then you said, the idea of how young people today, many young people, educated,
Yes.
English language speaking
Yes.
young people, particularly, they seem to be troubled by the attitude, which is a generational thing. Also, I saw some tweet once, which is an extreme point, saying, where some young person is saying, in 20 years they'll all be dead. Talking about older people.
Yeah.
So there is some sometimes vicious, like this example of difference between young and old people on who is liberal and who is conservative.
Yeah.
That is the second thing. So one by one we'll try and unravel this. Okay.
Sure.
The first is left, right, and center. Okay. I think unless some exceptionally gifted young people are there who have read, fundamental books with fundamental ideas on what Marxism meant and what Leninism.
I hope you don't mind if I get myself.
What Stalinism meant and Trotsky and so on. Unless they've read that, the original works.
Yeah.
Which may be a small percentage of young people. Otherwise, I think they're mostly sold on slogans, which is why they use words very quickly. They'll use the word fascist. It seems to be a very favorite word of young people. They use it really very quickly. There was a horror attached to the word, because it was applied to, events that were truly horrifying, like unforgettable events of history. And so they've worn out the power of the word, by using it so much. See, in an Indian way, we would say, over experience, words acquire dhvani. So when you use a word, it will acquire a meaning that is more than the simple meaning of that word, kind of what the verb from the etymological meaning. Right. It acquires an idiomatic meaning, it acquires experience of history and where it comes from. That kind of word, fascism. Fascism was that kind of word, okay? In the mouths of, Indian English-speaking people, it has become like, that person is a rowdy.
Yeah.
This person is a fascist.
Yeah.
That person is a Brahmin. Like that
don't
it's
you
become.
Think that's a serious problem?
It's not a serious problem because
this is why I'm saying.
No, but it is not serious because
let me explain why I'm saying this. Because for everything, if you dilute your opposition to a fact that, okay, farm laws comes out, you call somebody a dictator. So some other policy, Agnipath came out, now you're calling somebody a dictator. So for everything, you're branding them as Hitler. Now there is dilution, and I think these people live in a bubble, don't you think?
They don't live in a bubble. They're rendering themselves irrelevant, which is why when elections happen, what they say doesn't matter. This is not how young people were before. See, during the emergency, it was the young people, ABVP, that went to protest, So great action, great movement happened in India at several points in history because of young people. Today's young people are, they're the chatterati, See, the award Wapsi people, were the literati.
Yeah.
And sometimes glitterati. But the young people are the chatterati. Their main thing is to talk all the time. Okay?
Yeah.
But there are serious young people, who get radicalized to the point where they go and lynch in the street or they murder, somebody of, who has offended, their faith or something, that some people, a margin of them become that from both sides, I think. It is serious because you're going to have a dumbed down future and these people may not know what to do. There are very smart young people who are not concerned with politics. That is dangerous because they're just concerned with careers. They're going to do well in life and
right.
Actually, they are the ones who should have given their minds to politics and done something about it.
Yeah.
But people who go to they'll get very offended if I say the people who go to humanities courses and all, they'll render themselves irrelevant.
Yeah.
They're already irrelevant, It's because they have a network of universities and people who humor them and they get to write and talk at places. They may feel themselves relevant, but they really don't matter. Okay, that is the problem. Actually, instead of them, really bright people who can understand data, who can derive data, who can analyze data, who can look at the future, who believe in science and the rigor of science, those people, if they took some interest in public polity and social causes, it would be much.
But who would you blame for that? Would you blame the younger generation who's probably...
No, I would blame us.
Mm-hmm.
I would blame us, our generation, because they become talky people because of us, I think, because we have spent most of our lives just talking, not doing much, okay?
Yeah.
We've spent hours of our lives in arguments that should have become action instead,
Yeah.
So all this is there. So my problem is that it is dangerous that there is a bright young India which looks down on politics and they don't want to join it. And there is a chatterate India who didn't do well in studies, who think they're too rich socially, too above polytechnic level. They don't want to pick up skills working with their hands, they don't want at all. So they hone their English language and they pick jargon and they'll say they're all this fascist and whatever rubbish words that we use now. Labels are very big now. Have you noticed?
It's terrible.
And so I'm a sanghi.
Yeah.
See, I'm not right of center, which is a very polite thing that you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm a sanghi.
Yeah.
I'm a bhakt.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm a manuvadi. Right?
Komuvadi.
Komuvadi is our generation word. I'm a manuvadi.
Yeah.
And that also, I think, came from that time,
Yeah.
but it's lasted because I think that JNU gang has revived and made it popular again, Manuvadi, Brahmanvad, and they've brought it back again. But actually, in electoral politics, I think it's become a little less relevant.
But it's like JNU, even if you visit today, it's like you get a vibe that you're in Delhi in the 70s or the 80s because it's still the same inside once you take a tour.
But JNU worked very hard to become so relevant.
Correct,
as
absolutely.
A place, it has this network of very powerful universities around the world, universities of great esteem.
Yeah.
That actually support JNU and stand with them because of the work they've done.
Yeah.
But I can tell you, it is now known for the wrong reasons. No? I mean, it is not like great thinkers and all have come. All those people who made a noise, I don't know whether they've written a book and whether it's been published and whether anybody reads it.
Yeah.
Basically, talk. That is what it has become. It's not study, learn, digest, and do some seminal lecture or thought thinking.
But you've done so many political movies and you've also seen politics very closely in the past as well. What distinction do you see as somebody who's observed both? Do you think there are commonalities, there are similarities, or do you think it's too dramatized and it's too good to be true perhaps?
I'll give you an example that will clearly illustrate, okay? I'll give you an argument I had with somebody close to me, a young person. He'll get hurt if he listens to the story and how I see it. This was about CAA, okay? And of course, he had taken a very virulent anti-Narendra Modi and anti-Amit Shah stand. So I told him a little history about it, saying, it's Indira Gandhi because there were 7 to 10 million Bangla refugees who came. And Indira Gandhi said in a BBC interview that, I am very clear in my mind that they must go back. We cannot have them here. We are a poor country, You're boasting that Bangladesh is doing better, is a better economy than India. I agree. So shouldn't they have them back? Why should, a poor country, look after them? Okay, that is the question that was. So, they should go back, was what she said. It was not implemented. Assam burst into flames.
Correct.
And the student movement, this is how young people were then, okay?
Yeah.
So the student movement in Assam forced,
Yeah.
Rajiv Gandhi
Yeah.
to come and meet them. And Rajiv Gandhi made an accord, very promise that a survey will be done, and those who
Correct.
belong and those who don't belong, they'll be.
Yeah.
That survey was never done. Somebody went to court, and then the Manmohan Singh government took it up, but they couldn't complete it. Then the court was petitioned again, and the Supreme Court said, we will monitor this and a survey will be done. And a survey was done. However flawed it was done. Instead of saying the survey is flawed, that's why we are protesting, they said, the survey itself should not be done, undertaken. This is the case.
Yeah.
Okay. It all comes down to this question. Should India have these refugees or not? See, I will tell you something that can be very shocking, because, in this, you'll never listen to this at all. No? Like, this is the fundamental of the problem, okay?
Yeah.
The people of Assam, I don't know how it is now, okay? The people of Assam did not distinguish Bangla refugees in India as Muslims and Hindus.
Right.
Do you know this?
No.
It was not communal. They said a home belongs to Ahomis.
Correct.
People. And Bangla culture is actually destroying a home culture.
Yeah.
Especially when they do tribal settlements, it's creating real problems, because tribal cultures are more, can we say,
Compact.
cohesive.
Yeah.
And they're getting troubled by this, because the smaller communities there.
Right.
Was there a real problem? It was not a communal issue to start with.
Right.
Okay.
But that came later.
Bangladesh has got emptied of Hindus. That is an issue.
Yes.
Parliament subcommittees. In fact, under Pranab, Kapil Sibal was a part of that subcommittee in Parliament. You should see all that, where they say, of course, preference should be given. See, there are two kinds of refugees. People who come as economic refugees, they come for food and shelter. Okay.
Yeah.
This is one kind of refugee.
Yeah.
Then there are refugees who are actually thrown out, because of their faith.
Right.
Okay. So it has been suggested by Parliament, even then, that these people should get a fast tracking for citizenship. Others also can apply for citizenship, but these people should be fast tracked. Actually, that is the CAA protest.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody will put it like this. Okay. There are other complications, but broadly, this is the protest.
Yeah.
Okay.
That Muslims are not getting allowed into the country.
No.
And everybody else is.
No,
that's the perception.
But the perception is because they don't know anything. This is typical young people thing. They won't know anything. Yeah. They're too bored to find out. Okay. I'll tell you, I've talked to them.
Yeah.
They're very bored. So.
But that's something I find it surprising, because I have evolved. You have seen me for the last few years now. Like, I was somewhere in the spectrum. Today I've ended up somewhere. But I kind of evolve with time. Even if I'm with the right, I tend to read the left just to understand where they come from. But even maybe it's because of the reading habits that they're quite intolerant.
I'm sorry, Sharan. I see you as a victim of nomenclature. You are where you are.
Yeah.
The left is moved.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I mean by this. At the end of this argument, I tried my best to explain it like this, but at the end of the argument, I said it only hinges on this. Should we have these refugees in India or not? My point, my position on it is clear. I'll say it openly. They've been here for now, 50 years?
Yeah.
Okay. 2 generations have happened. Okay. India's taken that load for 50 years.
Yeah.
They here. You accept them as citizens, give them all the benefits as citizens. Okay. There may be some difficulty doing that. You can't put that load only on Assam. Just like Karnataka has taken so many Tibetans in the past.
Yeah.
Let all the liberal states also volunteer to absorb them. Okay. How come these, all these so very nice people are not actually offering this? Okay. You want them to be looked after? Let the states have a mandate, according to their size and whatever. You create parameters on saying which state should take how much.
Right.
And allow the state to make a work. Some states, if they want to be nasty and we will not take. Some states will be like that. Okay. So you negotiate that and make sure we'll keep them. They are here already.
Yeah.
Some of us will take the load. That's what the other states should say. That is one. The second thing is, can we have this happening over and over again? Some Rohingyas are coming. Now somebody else will come. Can we keep doing a poor country with a population that is so large? Can we keep taking people like this? When Europe takes 1 million, when Germany took close to 1 million refugees, Germany is talking like, they should be now beatified and become, Saint Germany. They have to become, okay? Like that's how they behave, right?
Yeah.
We are a poor country. See what we have to absorb, okay? Now the thing is we have to stop at sometimes some cutoff date should be there.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. So when I was arguing with this young person and he sees this side of it and I say, let them be given, okay? Who is left here? You tell me. See, this is what left meant to me, okay? They're poor people. Where will they go? Okay. And economic refugees, people who are religious for their faith if they have been hounded by these countries.
Yeah. They have to be given.
You give fast track them their citizenship application. Right. Okay. I feel all this is correct. You should do it. And for that the CAA is correct. Let it do that. Yeah. Okay. I will not agree with the CAA saying send them back. Where will they go? Well, you can't send. It's not practical. Forget humane. Okay. So what does the young person tell me? Kick them all out, he says. Okay. Basically, this is the new left. I want to win the argument. Yeah. This is what it is. Yeah. It's got no material reality. Yeah. So many people suffer and all that. I don't care. Yeah. I want to win the argument with you. That's it.
Because I've always felt, whether it's you or, we've had similar experiences in that way when it comes to politics or journalism in that manner. I felt I've always been the same.
I am left. Friends. So now that you're asking, I'll say, I am left, but I'm not this left.
Right. So it's the new left.
This is not new left. This is neoliberal. Right. See, it's a better word,
It's libertarian left.
Yeah. No, it's not libertarian. Libertarian is an okay word. It's neoliberal. Right. Okay. It's neoliberal. It is okay to take money from George Soros to protest against India liberal. It is. Okay. That is the liberal. It is not grounded in any reality but identity politics. Yeah. Let's be clear. All the fights are about identity politics. Okay. The farm protests, okay, were converted to identity politics eventually.
Correct.
You can say it was not, but that Khalistani touch to it, okay, it was identity politics. So you ride on the back of some economic...
But there was a threat.
No, some economic agitation it was supposed to be. Now, do you know this, that the Supreme Court constituted a panel. In fact, they invited Modi's great critic and, much respected P. Sainath to be part of that panel. Right. Sainath refused to be there, okay. Right. Actually, Sainath has written an article, okay, against the Arthiyas, saying they are bloodsuckers and, they are actually moneylenders and they're land grabbers and they've destroyed the lives of poor farmers in Punjab. He's written an article, Sainath, okay, although he never mentioned or talked about it during the farm law thing because he had identified himself politically on one side. Right. So the truth of farmers was not important to him at that time.
This is exactly what I was asking myself because in journalism classes, we've grown up watching P. Sainath's documentaries and we've read his books. And as soon as the farm laws happened, the first person that came to my mind was P. Sainath. Where is he? There is no news about him. There is no voice at all that's been activated.
No, because he will lose voice. See, this is how they become irrelevant. You understand? Yeah. When you become silent on an issue which was key, you should have spoken up. You should have spoken against the government and you should have used that as an opportunity to get the best deal for the farmers. Right. No, but he wanted to do only this, the politics of the side he had taken. Right. Now that panel gave a report. And that panel says, in that report, 87% of the farmers in Punjab supported the farm laws. Yeah. Now, what is justice, you tell me? Right. What was the farm agitation, you tell me? Yeah. Who paid you to do the agitation? You tell me now. And why did they pay you to do that agitation? You tell me now. Which is why people like me, and perhaps you, whom they call right and left, sanghi and all that, we tend to depend on Narendra Modi to deliver stability and sense to Indian polity, because we feel that you cannot trust these people. They're not, when they speak for somebody, you realize it's matlabi. They do not actually mean what they're saying.
Right.
So you cannot trust them. The problem between the Modi hating people and parties and Narendra Modi and his, you can call them acolytes if you want, is that you believe one side largely has the good of India at heart. And you believe that
the intentions are right.
The intentions largely seem to be good. But you cannot trust the intentions of, say, a Uddhav Thackeray, who will align with Sharad Pawar and Sonia Gandhi simultaneously, and and he suddenly gets sanctified. Some holy water has been sprinkled on Bala Thackeray's Shiv Sena. Bala Thackeray was an extremist right-wing person. Okay, I opposed Bala Thackeray when the great figure was alive. Okay, I oppose him today with the same fervor. I do not support that politics. I think Shiv Sena is a dangerous party to India. But it didn't start like that. Shiv Sena first started as a grassroots party of the people of Marathi people who felt displaced economically and socially in Mumbai and urban Maharashtra. To protect them, it started. Then it was very much like the DK movement, the Dravida Kalaga movement in Tamil. They were similar. Okay, even Naipaul says that. You see in one of his essays. Okay, they were similar. It took some evolution. First, they hated South Indians. Then they hated people from UP and Bihar, and then they began to hate Muslims. And then they loved Muslims. Now it seems they're back to hating Muslims. Okay, but the Shiv Sena evolved like that, and it's a dangerous party because it's not rooted in any good conviction.
But there is a deficit in that sense, even when it comes to, say, these Kannada groups. Because for me, if I really want to learn about Kannada or its heritage, whether it's the language or the state, I would look up to people like you or S.L. Bhairappa or somebody else, and not these fringe groups who are.
No, but I don't agree with you. See, the thing is, this is what literati will say. That they will say, Sahiti type will say that Kannada means language.
Few moments later.
See, Kannada also means an identity that is social and economic. If you create a domicile idea, let us say you must have a domicile certificate to get a job in Karnataka. You have to get a site in Karnataka, you need domicile certificate. And you can get a domicile certificate, only there should be 3 levels of Kannada to learn. In European countries, unless you learn the local language,
Correct.
Okay, you won't get a job. Now the thing is, there should be basic Kannada, which should be a transit. If you're going to stay here only for 3 months, 6 months or something, there should be like employable Kannada, where you're not going to settle here permanently, but you will move around. Okay, that is the second certificate. But to settle here, to get a site, you need the full domicile of 5 years, let us say. You have to pass a Kannada exam at 3 levels also. I suggested this to, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, that it should be done, and only then they should be eligible for a job. Now that is not Kannada language. It's an economic and social idea also. It means, that the teller in the bank, in a nationalized bank, which was nationalized from Karnataka, 5-6 banks from Karnataka were nationalized, into national banks. Now, if I go to a bank that was started in Karnataka, I go to the counter in a small town and I say, I want to transact, and the cashier refuses to speak to me in Kannada, says, I don't know Kannada. Is that justice? So, that Sahitis cannot do. That these people, that the Kannada Rakshana Vedike should do. The problem is Kannada Rakshana Vedike also will stop, a Sunny Leon New Year show in Bangalore.
That's the problem.
They have no connection with it. It has no connection with Kannada language, right? So the problem is, they may argue forever. I'll tell you, people are very clever. I told you, talk will happen. But that is suspicious activity, we will think, correct? That is the problem. I support the Shiv Sena, the Shiv Sainiks I support. I do not support the changing ideology of Shiv Sena, of the Thackeray family. I do not support that. But Shiv Sainiks believe that it represents Marathi Manus And it represents the Marathi soul.
And I think the whole Eknath Shinde episode, if it was not for ideology, actually it wouldn't have come about. I mean, he was supported by his own MLAs. It's because of the ideology, and they even.
I don't agree. I think he was supported by his MLAs because they were not happy with I think Shiv Sena had to play a little brother to Sharad Pawar's party.
Yeah.
They were irritated and insulted, and they saw an opportunity with BJP.
Yeah.
And it's a problem for them to go back and fight. BJP will look more credible as a Hindutva party than them.
Yeah.
Maybe their vote bank is that.
Yeah.
All that has come into play. Real politics, this is,
Yeah.
This, I think they had a negotiation with BJP. This was all well planned out. Some course correction may have happened along the way. But, this is, BJP
So
just
say it's a premeditated.
Yeah, BJP has got smarter with this game.
Yeah.
That's all it is. They've done it over and over, toppling the state governments, and they've learned how to do it well now. That's all it is. But they're exploiting the contradictions that are there.
Yeah.
So can we say this is good or that is good? No, we can't say. This is also bad, that is also bad. But this whole thing of saying who should defend the language, I feel different people are required for different things. I cannot see all these sophisticated people
like
coming
us
and
doing it
and defending this.
Yeah.
See, when we wanted the Hindi boards changed at Metro, okay, all these beautiful people didn't come, right? Only the Banavasi Balaga people,
local activists,
Rakshana Vedike, and people like me who don't have a political idea. Okay, the problem for me is that people like me cannot be in politics because I can be loyal to an idea. I can be loyal to the idea of what is right. I cannot be loyal to a person or a political party.
Is it because you sometimes enjoy being a contrarian? On a positive side, I'm saying.
Well, I think it is certainly enjoyable to explore the other side in an argument always, okay? But it's also real in public polity. You must listen to the other side. You don't listen to the other side at all means what? How are you right? In what way have you done anything? I feel the people are talking. I use the word neoliberal because they're neither right nor left. They're nonsense. Okay, I mean nothing they say makes any sense. See, I read an article yesterday. I think in Indian Express. Okay, says that BJP had promised Shiv Sena that 2.5 years rule they will do, 2.5 years will do.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you know? BJP says no. So basically you take a side. Now, if I take BJP side, I'll say no, they didn't promise.
Yeah.
If you take, Uddhav Thackeray side, you say they promise.
Yeah.
What about the independent journalism? How will you find out?
But does that scare you sometimes? Because I don't mean to go into the politics of it, but at least as an institution, if you were not an actor or an activist or what you're doing right now, even theatre for that matter, if you've continued in journalism itself, what would your evaluation of today's journalism be?
I would have been in prison. See, what would have happened, I'll tell you. See, I'm going to...
Because as a journalist, if you talk about Balasaheb that way...
Finish.
You're done.
Done, no? So basically, I'll tell you what happens. It's unsafe to be a journalist.
Yeah.
Not because of the right wing alone. Because of the left wing also.
Yeah.
You saw when I said, I warned that there will be danger if you do communal... If you have a sudden idea of association with power and you feel you protected.
Yeah.
When the rebel MLA's boards offices were being attacked in Mumbai, I was there in Mumbai that time. I saw on TV that the police are standing. They're actually protecting the vandalizers,
right?
Not the property owners, right? So when you think that the state is with you and you do violence, which is what happened in Bengal, which is what I said.
Yeah.
They filed an FIR. They said they wanted to arrest me. Okay, they let go not because they let go. They let go because the state machinery, even if there were some people who were interested to do something, did not carry on with it because they saw that I did not have a publication. and I'll probably become a martyr and I'll talk about it forever.
Yeah.
It is better to leave it. Maybe that's what they thought.
Yeah.
But I think if had it been a Congress government or a JDS government, I would have gone to prison for writing it on Facebook.
Yeah. Is that why you're not making a comeback on social media?
I will not.
I don't use
no,
social media.
I'll not go to social media. I get to talk. I can get. I'll talk. Anybody calls me. I've been called by left-wing outfits, but those connected with culture.
Yeah.
Real left-wing is stupid. They don't call. Okay, but those connected with culture call me. I've gone and talked there. I don't mind.
Yeah.
I've gone and talked to right-wing. I have given so many talks to Samvada. Okay, because I don't. I'll talk to you.
Yeah.
The thing is, I'll talk. If you have some questions, I'll answer. Okay, I would rather do this. But if somebody threatens me and files a case and all that, I'll stop. Maybe I'll do a play in a play where I'll do satire and I mock you. I've done a Me Too play. Okay, so far nobody has attacked. Although somebody said, wow, how can you do this play? Somebody said, but it's very famous. Some 30-40 shows we've done. Hilarious.
I think they got almost everybody in that campaign.
No, but it's hilarious, that thing.
So the biggest victims of that campaign going awry are the victims themselves who've genuinely gone through something, because their voice was diluted among the thousands of other false voices that were out there.
See, because the material conditions continue to exist. What happens is, if a girl says, I was molested, okay, a middle class, normal, educated family girl, or anybody with middle class social values, if that girl says, I was molested, how will she marry? How will the in-laws treat her? Will she get a job? How will her own family and friends treat her? That is the real society, which is terrifying to a girl. Okay, that still exists. Okay,
correct.
The people who can come out and say it are people who get protected in some ways, because they don't derive their strength from family and all that. They derive from a collective. That is what they do. I don't know whether it is right or wrong. That's not what I'm saying. My problem with it is, have you convicted anybody? You got them to lose their jobs and all that. You did trial by media, trial by publicity, trial by social media. They're out of their jobs. Okay, their careers have been ruined. My friend Raghu Dixit, he was going to do music for a film.
Nana Patekar as well.
They threw him out. No, Nana Patekar is well established. Raghu Dixit was heading to a Kannada guy who was going to make a career it's gone. I don't know when it's going to come to him again. Okay, which is why I backed him, because it cost him too much. Okay, now the thing is there a case there? So there may be, there may not be, but shouldn't it be trial first and punishment later?
I think one of the other things that I felt that was discriminating was, in my opinion, again I'll get lynched for this, I felt a lot of men also go through this, because I personally went through it. Because as a kid, I would travel very independently outside in BMTC buses. So back in the day, we did not have any mobile phones. We were too young to have that. And you would not read novels as a kid, although people on Instagram would claim that they would grow up reading novels. People don't do that. So I used to fall asleep in public buses, and then by the time I woke up, I realized there was somebody else's hand. And I have to credit Derek O'Brien, because I saw him for the first time on NDTV confessing that he went through something like that. And there was actually a positive campaign. A lot of men came forward. They spoke about incidents that may actually happen.
No, it's not easy. I'll tell you. I can also. It's very brave for you to say that. I wouldn't name anybody, but I'll tell you, I have gone through it. When I was 15 or 16, it was very bad. And at that age, it's very traumatic, because you can't confess to your friends also.
Yeah.
Because they'll mock you.
Yeah.
They'll call you. Those days, it was an abusive word to say homo.
Yeah.
So they'll call you all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So you become isolated. You don't even have this thing of saying this is wrong. So I'm so sorry it happened to you. You can't tell anybody.
Yeah.
So it's terrible. Yeah, you're right. So this is what I'm saying. If you have a genuine humanistic ground on this, on something wrong has happened to somebody, should be your point.
Yeah.
You can't say something wrong has happened to somebody of this identity. That is the neoliberalism.
Right.
It happened to a Brahmin, it's okay. It happened to, a rich person's son, then it's okay. It happened to this category of Dalit, then it's a campaign. It happened to a minority person, then it's a campaign. So this identity, right and wrong, to identify it by identity, not by human value itself, is the problem of neoliberalism. And that is the core of all the problems you say. The old left came from a humanitarian grounds. Okay, the conventional left came from humanitarian grounds. Okay, the new left belongs to privileged, entitled, mostly English-speaking
urban elites,
urban Indians, who don't study science but study humanities. Yeah.
You do all these interviews, and I'm sure you're asked a wide, array of questions because of the profession that you're in. What is the question that you always felt that a journalist has never asked, or you wanted to be asked?
I always want people to ask me, how is that Indians are free to choose their faith, but not free to choose their varna? Who are you to say? See, they don't want to use the word varna, which is an Indian word. Okay, they want to use the word caste, which is a Portuguese word. Okay, see what the problem of language is in a country like this. Okay, a language is a very complicated thing, and a pada has dhvani. It doesn't mean itself. It's not just the nirukti of the pada. A pada means it's dhvani. It has other. Jati means something. Varna means something. Okay. Yav paiki avaru, we will say when we meet somebody. We mean many things by that. Okay. So those are all powerful words. Okay. You don't want to use those idiomatic Indian words. You want to use words like secular. I dare. We'll conduct a test and we'll see what does secular mean. In India, let them not look at a dictionary into it, because in India it doesn't mean that. I'll ask you a general knowledge question. How many times does the word secular occur in the Indian Constitution?
Just once.
Where?
In the preamble.
In the preamble, it was introduced in 1942. With the 1976 with the 42nd Amendment. Correct?
Yeah, correct.
Indira Gandhi, did it illegally. 42nd Amendment. That's when it was put into the preamble. Okay? But it does exist in the Constitution before that. It's in Article 25. And you see what it means there. It is very clear. And in the book, 1 second. Close madadre barala sound.
5 minutes later.
1942, secular.
No, 1976, 42nd Amendment. She put that word. But before that, in Article 25, it's there. And there the word secular means something else altogether. Crudely, I'll tell you, it means the state can take money from temples for non-religious purposes. That's what it means. That's what it means, actually.
Right.
Materially. That's what everybody is upset about.
Opposing also.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, even TV anchors won't know this. If your education comes from TV, basically you're screwed, in India. If you're a young person and you go by labels, social media amplifies labels. So everybody can be called anything,
Who do you hang out with these days? Bollywood, Bombay. Who do you chill with?
See, Bombay, the film industry in Bombay is very lefty. They call themselves lefty, okay. I think they don't understand what it means, but they think they're left, okay. They think Shiv Sena is left, okay. That is what left means now, okay. Uddhav Thackeray is left. Aditya Thackeray is left. See, I'll tell you the really funny thing. The last major decision that Uddhav Thackeray made before he went to the governor and resigned, was that he changed the name of Aurangabad to Sambhajinagar and another place to some other, Marathi historicizing name he got. It was de-Islamized. Basically, let's put it that way. Okay, And suddenly Hindutva is back, this faction and that faction, everywhere it's back.
Yeah.
What is the first decision the Eknath Shinde government did? See, this is very important. It's not government, it's just Eknath Shinde at the moment. What's the first decision he made?
I don't know. I haven't.
Really funny, you know. He said the metro depot will be made in Ari Colony.
Ari, yeah.
Ari Colony. That's the first decision he made.
It hurts them.
No. See, look. I mean, I'm the guy who was fighting for no steel flyover.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, I believe, I may not be the best expert on it, but I've read the alignment thing, what they considered and why this is best and all that.
Yeah.
See, the metro will take some trees. If you do roads, they will take some trees. Okay. But similarly, the metro will take some trees.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like it is necessary for Mumbai to have a well-connected metro, and it is practical to have that station, that depot there. And you know, if that colony is this much, then Sanjay Gandhi National Park that surrounds it is as big as this house.
Right.
Okay. So you can actually regreen an arid part of that area, okay, and do something about it, because something can be done about it, I feel. And I would support that decision. Now you will say you're with me or against me. There's no debate. We can disagree on some things, on practical things, which is why we put it to vote in the legislature.
Correct.
And we make law. Isn't that how we work?
Yeah.
Apparently not. We work in Scheinberg protest.
But why is it that most of the actors actually fancy themselves to be from the left? Or rather, let me put it this way. There is a distinction between the regional and the English elite intelligentsia that we were discussing about. But these days, you know, the think tanks are coming up.
I used to know intellectuals when I was young.
Yeah.
Intellectual is a very big word. You know, Shivaram Karant, intellectual.
Yeah.
Ananta Murthy is an intellectual. Kirtinath Kurtukoti is an intellectual. You know, Kuvempu was an intellectual. Lankesh was an intellectual. Now, just like fascist, intellectual is easily applied. None of these jokers are intellectuals. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if there is an intellectual in Karnataka. Perhaps, you know, Rajiv Taranath. You know, we lost so many of them suddenly, you know, with Tejasvi, Lankesh and all. Suddenly they went off. I don't think we have any.
But you were very close to Lankesh.
Yes, he is an intellectual. But I mean it. Adu Gaurava Irava Pada. It's a very big, it was a big word in our time.
Yeah.
I am not an intellectual. Okay. From old idea also, I am not an intellectual, because they were giants. They were great thinkers. Okay. I am not that. Okay. And I am not an intellectual like these people, because I feel ashamed if I am associated, you know, with them. I am not that. Okay. They are intellectuals. If they be, we'll retire the word as it applied then and give it to neoliberals. I am not that. Okay. I am not a buddhijeevi. That is the correct, that is the word applying to. I am not a sahiti also. Okay. I am a writer, because I write stories and all that. Okay. I am a writer. I am not a sahiti. Even if I write a novel, I don't want to be identified as a sahiti. Get my point? This is what has happened to words today with neoliberalism. I am none of those things. Similarly, I am also not left.
Yeah.
Nor liberal. I am not.
Yeah.
I am okay to, if you apply any other label. Fascist, I am happy to take, because I think
we are dictators. Yeah.
Also, yeah. Fascist, chamcha, bucket. Quite okay.
But why isn't the right, you know, very artistic? Why don't they do good movies? And this is a global phenomenon. It's not just applied to India.
What will they do about it? I'll tell you what is Bollywood's greatest danger today. See, you see early Bollywood, you know, take a movie like Abhiman. Okay? Or take the people are criticizing Javed and Salim now, but I think they were the greatest writing pair in the world. Okay, greatest in a cinema writing as a commercial writing as a pair. They were the world's greatest writers. Okay, They fought and left. Very sad for Amitabh Bachchan actually at that time. Okay, and for India, they wrote great films. Okay, even that is not there now. Okay, because they came from left.
Right.
Their plots are lefty.
And most people from the right associate themselves to the right after their industry career is over. They're not ideologically right. If you know
I
what
think
I'm
if
saying.
you're working, it is difficult to do all this. Okay, because I mean, like work is I'm working
But
very.
you don't have to be extreme right. I'm not saying.
No,
like
any extreme is wrong. No, I mean, forget left and right. Right and wrong is there also. I'm saying there's right and there's wrong.
Yeah.
All extremes are wrong.
Yeah.
All. Why? All extremes are wrong.
But what I'm saying is there is not even a single person who can be in the film industry who can call themselves a little conservative in terms of being their,
No,
ideological
that is not.
outlook.
I'm there. It is possible that some very lefty director will not actually cast me. But I get enough work. I can't complain. Actually, I don't know whether I deserve to get so much work. But I get a lot of work. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm quite vocal. No, I'm always talking.
So, since everybody is talking about it, what do you think about this phenomenon where the South Indian movie industry is rising? And generally, the feeling is that it's more dharmic.
Correct. You came to the same question again. It's not just dharmic. See, I'll tell you. Although it may be a byproduct of of what I was saying earlier. Earlier movies were located in Bharat. Okay.
Yeah.
Family disputes.
Yeah.
Even in a movie like Arjun, which Javed Akhtar wrote, the boy has not got a job. The girl has got a job.
Yeah.
He feels humiliated. The wife she's the second wife. She's much younger.
Yeah.
The old man is A.K. Hangal. He feels humiliated with her comments. So she making rotis. She says, I will please serve it first to the person who's useful in this house. And he feels insulted, the hero. I think Sunny Deol plays that role. Okay. So it has got all these, lower middle class home complexities.
Yeah.
Okay. And Bharatiya values it has got. Okay.
Yeah.
Bollywood has transcended. Bollywood is in an ultra cosmopolitan space. Bollywood stories now are people who are doing international rescue projects. They're doing okay.
Yeah.
They're not looking for job and all stories. It's not mainstream Bollywood anymore.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
If you make a movie like Masan, it's margin Bollywood.
Correct.
So you praise it a lot and all that,
Yeah.
but you don't reward it with say 100 crores. Okay,
Yeah.
like you praise it and it make
Yeah.
8 crores or something. Okay, that is what you will do.
Yeah.
So this is a game. You praise somebody who makes a film like that till you get shocked by something like Kashmir Files, which doing like you or better than you, and then you're thinking, hello, what happened? Okay, so but you lefty will continue to do all these big movies, correct?
Yeah.
See, which is why if you look at Amir Khan's Dangal, it's very different from all his other films.
Right.
Because it's about something so real, no? It's not located in an ultra cosmopolitan
very
space.
superficial in that sense.
I didn't say superficial. I said the problem for me is that these stories don't belong anywhere in Bharat. The new Bollywood stories. Which is why they take it from Malayalam, which is a very Malayali culture.
Yeah.
Malayalam is very Malayali.
Yeah.
Kannada is not very Kannada. Kannada cinema is not very Kannada.
Yeah.
Now, I hope it becomes, but it's not very Kannada. They do remakes and all that. Malayalam doesn't do remakes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why I use the word superficial, because any cultural semblance for us outside of our own cosmos may be superficial in nature.
Because India has no culture.
The audience will be again.
No, there is a problem with this. No, earlier we didn't have this problem. See, Nehru came from Bharat.
Yeah.
Gandhi came from Bharat.
Yeah.
Lohia came from Bharat. Ambedkar came from Bharat. Good or bad, okay? They had roots in what was India. Bollywood, where is it from? Okay, which is why Bhojpuri hived off. Right, Bhojpuri films. Yeah, you can call it rockers and raunchy and all that, which is how Dada Kun ke films were. Yeah, he did 8 or 9, super hit films, one after the other. Some Guinness record that is. Yeah. People didn't judge him, saying, how can you make sex, this double meaning films.
Yeah.
It was a smaller culture. We laugh. That's what it was.
Yeah.
It was not this whole puristic shit. It was that is now we have now. We could do that, and Bhojpuri does that. They enjoy it. What's your problem? You can put an item number in your film. If you put an item number in Khalnaik, Choli ke piche kya hai, then it is. I don't know what that is. That is culture.
Yeah.
Where does that happen? Okay,
Yeah.
policewoman going and doing that. Where does that happen? Okay, but if you do it in some big man's bungalow, he calls a Nach girl and it does. It's very real India.
It's very true. Even in literature today, I mean, I don't mean to admire the way in which Chetan Bhagat writes, but he writes all these steamy, raunchy scenes, and people actually oppose a lot of it. But silently, what?
See, he's a bad boy of the English language culture because he's betrayed the cause.
Yeah.
All the values should come from Anglo-Saxon training.
Yeah.
What are you saying? That is what they don't like him.
He went through a lot initially.
He's doing well. I mean,
he's doing well for himself.
His book sells.
Yeah.
I don't know how many books of these guys are selling.
Yeah.
So, see, their own audience is not buying them. They are actually coming and watching Kashmir Files.
Yeah. But even with writing, like I grew up reading Vinod Mehta, M.J. Akbar, and
they are all great journalists.
Kushwant Singh.
They were big journalists.
Read a lot of
these are who are these people?
Yeah.
How can you call them journalists? They are actually write like paid PR people from one royal family.
Singh's books,
everybody is affiliated to this dynasty or that dynasty in India.
Yeah.
Journalists now.
But you can't think about writing something like having an affair somewhere in Norway and having a stepchild there, like Vinod Mehta did, or making love to a prostitute like Kushwant Singh was writing about. Today, in a culture, it's perhaps maybe not desirable, if that's the way I need to put it.
Yeah, you can write it, as this happened to me confessional story, and hope to get some sympathy.
Yeah.
He'll let it all hang out, bearing my chest, kind of thing you can do, and all it'll be a subject of study in TISS and all these places.
Do you ever think about leaving?
I think I'm also like a little old. I don't have to depend on these people, so I can speak like that. Otherwise, they'll 100% they'll boycott you.
Yeah.
See, if I was working in a job in one of these IT companies and I had said this and this interview had come out,
you'd be fired.
I'm sure.
There'll be a committee.
Yeah.
You'll be at a hearing.
So that is the neoliberal space. They're all liberal, and they follow what happened to, what is that lady? Some Amber who filed against that actor.
Oh yeah.
Amber Heard. No, what is that guy? Yeah, that I like him.
Pirates of the Caribbean. What's his name? We will edit this part because I can't be seen forgetting his name. Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp.
Yeah. See, then I like that Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Okay, but I didn't know anything about this case.
Right.
Somebody told me, and after about 2-3 minutes, I said, why are you telling me this? I said,
yeah,
because I have no interest in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so those stories they'll know.
Yeah.
They are not interested in anybody else.
That was a very interesting.
Some Indian story and all, they're not interested.
Yeah.
Nambi Narayanan movie. What do you think of that? Rocketry, it'll come.
Oh yeah, Nambi Narayanan.
Nambi Narayanan film will come. Okay?
Yeah.
Which Madhavan had
done.
Yeah,
but it's very sad if a ISRO scientist is actually.
But I want to tell you that that Shah Rukh Khan has done a cameo role in that free of cost.
Yeah.
I think Shah Rukh Khan may be in trouble because he is supporting, a Bharatiya cause. I think they will. I think they'll attack him. Some VP story. Somebody will write some slight. See, among them there are guys who do call Pratap Banu Mehta, for instance, qualifies like a intellectual.
Yeah.
He'll write some long thing and he may say, even Shah Rukh Khan has done it, maybe like that level of person.
So very funny thing going on Twitter, since you're not on social media, I don't know if you're aware of this. So many of these old legacy journalists, what they do is every time there is some political development in the country, let's say the farm laws comes out, and there is a pattern, okay, there is a series, somebody has put it out on Twitter, wherein this journalist says, I got down at the New York airport and then I got out. I spoke to the taxi guy, and even this taxi guy, who was a black man in America, knew about the farm laws that was happening. And
Well,
the same taxi
so
guy
well-
appeared everywhere throughout.
Well done, you. They know about the farm laws protest. Okay. Well, this is what journalism has done in India. They will report the protest.
Yeah,
Do journalists understand the farm laws?
yeah.
That's the key, no?
Do you ever think about leaving a legacy? And if so, like maybe, I mean, you will not accept it even if you've thought about it, knowing you. But what do you think? I mean, is there usually, because younger people plan their future, like in 5 years, I want to be this, in 10 years, I want to get there. But what is it after you achieve a certain stage in life? How do you look at life that
Well,
way?
I think it's problematic. See, let me confess something to you. In the last 3 months, I've been offered 3, government
Yeah,
type posts, okay,
yeah,
in 3 different bodies to be a member. Not very high post, not chairman of the kind of post, like a fellow member post I've been offered.
yeah,
But I said I won't take. And then they asked me, why do you keep doing this? Why do you keep saying no? I said, because I've openly supported Narendra Modi.
yeah,
And I cannot take a post that is offered when Narendra Modi is in power.
You will not take any post when Narendra Modi is
When
in
he
power.
is there, when he is in power.
Hmm.
Then they said, but sir, you can do more, no, if you're in a post.
But how will you take a post if he isn't in power?
That's what. No, forget that. There is a problem, more complicated problem, I'll tell you. Supposing I accept a post,
Yeah,
and then I find out that I don't agree with some law they have made.
yeah,
I won't be allowed to say it, no?
yeah,
Correct?
yeah.
That is the reason it's a dark future for me in politics. I
Means you
cannot-
can't be diplomatic.
No, I can't be
You choose
truthful.
not to be. Yeah,
Diplomatic is another word, yeah. But I want to be diplomatic. I would like to say, Bani sir, kutkoli, hegidira. I'm willing to say to a person I don't like. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm willing to do that much. But I cannot tell him that you are right. I cannot. How can I say that?
yeah.
When I think he is wrong, how will I say?
But-
I disagree with Narendra Modi going to Ayodhya temple to doing the puja. Okay, there the Sangh Parivar is saying, no, it is his private visit. If it's a private visit,
Yeah.
why should TV cameras be
But
inside?
if the vice president can hold iftar parties in Rashtrapati Bhavan, then
I have been told that the other political parties have done the same thing. Why can't he do it? I didn't vote for them because of that.
Yeah,
Okay, I voted for this person, so I'm going to criticize him. Now, supposing I'm in the party, I can't criticize him.
yeah,
How will I be able to do it?
yeah.
See, supposing somebody asks me, do you agree with Nupur Sharma? What do you think I will say? I'll say something diplomatic.
Yeah,
What I will say is, see, in matters of faith, there is no reason. We cannot bring some logical argument in matters of faith.
Yeah.
Okay? But I am against Nupur Sharma because that was not her job. She was a BJP spokesman. She must represent the party view. If she wants to do personal view, she should be outside the party. That's what I will say. That is diplomatic. Supposing you ask me, what do you think of that thing in the Quran? Supposing you ask me, I'll say I have not read it. I'll not read it. It's not a topic of interest to me.
yeah.
I will say. See?
But since we are talking about truth, I've always felt this contradiction growing up in journalism schools, because we were always told to report the truth. But for me, I always felt that truth is also a perception. For instance, Kashmir Files. Many people who watched Kashmir Files felt that the truth is coming out, that a lot of Kashmiri Pandits actually went through that. But fact is different from the truth, is what I'm trying to say. Fact of the matter can be something else, and truth is again a perception that can be different from a person to a person.
No, I'll tell you how you should see it. Can you go and live in Kashmir
No,
safely?
no,
Can a Pandit go and live in Kashmir?
no,
Can they get the lands they had before?
no.
Were they sent out in, did they go out in fear? Did they flee Kashmir in fear?
Yeah,
Some 600,000 to 700,000 of them.
yeah,
All these are facts, no?
yeah,
Leave out the word truth. This happened.
yeah.
Okay? Is it okay?
No, of course it's not okay.
So be allowed to set it right.
Yeah,
Okay? I'm suggesting everybody is squeamish over. But I'll say that because they are threatening to kill innocent people, if it's the government's duty to protect the citizen. The government should fully and adequately leave the word fully. The government must adequately militarize, the state of not now Jammu and Kashmir, the
Union territory.
Leh and all are fine. Leh and Jammu are fine. The Kashmir, what is the new Kashmir territory? They must militarize, and they must actually enforce democratic change in the place, so that if it becomes as diverse a culture as say Bangalore or Mumbai or Delhi, then the possibility of people having a better life is there. Investment will be there, industry will be there, educational institutions will be there, jobs will be there, economy will be there, and you'll learn the art of cosmopolitan living. Right now, because you're reading books that don't teach you science and maths, you're not fit to get a job. You may be taking a gun or picking up a stone and walking around the street, but if you have the benefit of a proper education, and you learn how to live in a diverse society, which India is, this will work. If you think no, Kashmir cannot belong to India, then we'll have to wage war against you. It's very clear, I think. That's what Kashmir Files suggests to you, and it's correct.
What would your ending message to younger generation be?
I'll say, look, there are two ways of looking at yourself. You should look at the possibilities that you can be. Everyone is a possible thing. Every person is a potential. Don't go out and ask what is the scope in computer science. Ask what is the scope in me.
Right.
What can I become? That is your scope, correct? The scope is not outside. The scope is inside. That's the first thing. It's not what course you choose. It's what you become that matters, okay? So you'll think about that, what you want to become. And in that, there are two ways to look at it. I'll do stuff that is useful to me, okay? Or I'll do stuff that is useful to others.
Right.
Okay? Think about it. Will you be required by a lot of people? Will you make a lot of money if you do what is just good for you? Or you'll make a lot of money if you do what is good for others? You think about it. You may make a lot of money doing... See, I think Bill Gates made a lot of money. I mean, I may not like him now, but Bill Gates made a lot of money, okay, by giving us the PC. Okay.
Why do you not like Bill Gates?
No, because he wants to make a dust cloud around Earth to actually stop, to mitigate global warming.
Climate change.
I think I'm a very scary person, Put a blanket around the Earth.
That is very scary.
I think human span is, 100 years is very dangerous, I think. We should live as long as cockroaches.
It's not just with the old though, is it? Because you see a lot of these young activists around the world. There's a 10-year-old girl from the north. I'm sure very innocent kid, very nice kid. But they're being used as cannon fodder. I'm sure they don't understand shit of what they're actually doing.
No, but that is like...
Greta Thunberg.
That is like talent shows and all that, no? See, those people may not become singers later, okay? But, sure as hell, I think their science and maths and all will suffer. That will happen, I think. So, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. So, I think that is okay. But if you ask me to get my daughter to make a video to save the earth and all that, maybe you shouldn't. You don't know anything about it, I'll tell her.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving us this time. It's been lovely having this conversation with you.
Thank you. We can do it again. Because there's so many things to talk about.
I came unprepared. I usually do my interviews impromptu these days. And like I was saying, most of the conversations happen when the record button is off. So which is why I was emphasizing that the record button be on. So that we can keep recording
that Maharashtra thing is really sad for the people of Maharashtra. Because Bombay is screwed, it is raining now and that everywhere they're trying to do the metro. I think Nitin Gadkari is a very active person and he can be supportive and he can help. But you should have a local government That should
Here
be
also the same
supported.
thing happened last
See,
year.
they have not given land for the bullet train project to be completed. All that will get done now. Okay.
Yeah.
So for that reason, no, should the bullet train be done or not? You can have any number of opinions for it.
Yeah.
But if people support it, people use the number metro.
Yeah.
The problem with metro is that there is not enough metro.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to support what people want. Yeah? They come and work, do jobs. The Chatterati people are either retired or children of very rich people, who don't have to do jobs. But for people who do jobs, metro is required.
It's an inconvenience if it's not there.
Correct, no?
Yeah.
So I feel that...
But you love taking the public transport, no? Like, generally.
See, I came, I'll tell you how I came. I got off, I took the 6:15 flight.
Yeah.
I got out of the airport at 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Okay. I went to the Vajra bus.
I knew it.
I took the Vajra bus and got up at Chinnaswamy Stadium. Nobody troubled me. The conductor came and took a selfie and all that. Okay, but I got up at Chinnaswamy Stadium. I took the metro to Majestic. I stood at Majestic for 3 minutes. This train came.
Yeah.
And I came by train to Talgatpura and asked my wife to pick me up on a two-wheeler. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel I'm a conscientious citizen. I can do better, but this much at least I do.
Yeah.
I think that Twitterati environmentalists.
Okay? No, another thing that I've noticed.
Do bullshit. I don't think they do anything. So,
another thing that I've noticed really about you is that you like to be.
I hope you use this actually. A lot of people should understand.
Okay.
This is what people should do. Yeah. Everybody is too proud to travel by metro.
Yeah.
ಇಲ್ಲ ನಾನು ಫೋಟೋ ತಗೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಲ್ಲ ಯು ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಸೋ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲರ್ ಹಂಗಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫುಲ್ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗಿರೋದು
ಅಲ್ಲೇನ್ರಿ
ಯಾರು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಇವರು ಅಲ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದು ಇವ್ರು ಹೀರೋ ಅಂತೆ ಯಾರು ಬರಲ್ಲ ಏನ್ ಸರ್ ಅಷ್ಟು ಕಚಡ ಮಾಡಿದಾರ ಆ ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
Once I met you, we were meeting near the Jayanagar metro station and I was looking out for a car. I thought you'll come by a car and then you will just say hi. Then I'm seeing this huge crowd around you near the metro station because you're there.
Huge crowd when you're like ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ selfie ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ ಒಂದು 5-6 minutes ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Don't you get? I would get really annoyed.
I get really annoyed to be in a traffic jam. I prefer this to that. It would have taken me
because it's
4 hours to come here otherwise in this at this time. Peak hour to travel into Bangalore otherwise would have taken me to come here 3.5 hours it would have taken.
Yeah.
I came in, can you imagine this? I came here at 9:45. Just think about this. In 1 hour 45 minutes I've traveled 60 kilometers, cutting right through from the northern tip of Bangalore to the southern tip of Bangalore. I've come in 1 hour 45 minutes. Can you come that distance by car or bike in that time? Peak hour. Is it possible?
It's not possible. It's definitely not possible. But you don't mind being among the crowd. It doesn't annoy you.
I like people. I like the warmth of other people.
It gets annoying after a point.
It gets annoying to talk to intellectuals. I'll tell you, that is the worst thing. I want to avoid them. One great way to avoid intellectuals is to use public transport. They're never there. It's a fact, it is. Where do you meet intellectuals? You tell me. Where can you do intellectual conversation?
But everybody fights for
You meet them in bars.
Yeah.
You meet them in seminars.
Yeah.
Where they're paid to come there. They're given free food. They're given airfare, picked up at the airport, put in a hotel. Then they'll come and yap. They'll do. Okay, that's what they'll do. So, intellectuals, wherever they are, if you want to avoid them,
take the public transport.
Take public transport because they're never there. Go to Udupi Hotel. They're never there. Go to, Empire, if you like biryani and all that, okay? Or go to some Gaudar Muddemane. Intellectuals don't come there. But if you hang around in seminars, 5-star hotels and all that, boy, very, very big chance you'll bump into them.
Yeah. Record ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
Swarajya is a good place. I hope you don't protest with them too much because it's a very good play.
You're disclosing my agenda that was supposed to be my,
That is
super weapon or something.
That is a very good platform. It is.
It is.
Okay. They probe honest questions.
Yeah.
You should.
Which is why we designed this show, because we.
I like
genuinely
Swarajya.
felt-
I want to write a column. I've not ever got around to that because I don't want to make a commitment that I cannot fulfill.
Yeah.
Okay, see, now 6 months I'm going to.
Yeah. Is that only because of theatre you're going there?
I'm only. I'll tell you. If I tell you my routine.
Yeah.
13th morning I'll go to Australia. 13th to 31st of July I'll rehearse in Sydney every day. Okay. Then second I think I'll go to Edinburgh. Okay. From third I think I'll go to Edinburgh. From 5th or 6th of August till 14th of August, I'll perform in a play, Counting and Cracking, at Edinburgh Fringe. It's the world's biggest festival.
Yeah.
Then we'll move to Birmingham Arts Festival. Then we will do 12 shows at Birmingham Arts Festival. Then I will act in a movie, okay, in London, till about 6th, I think.
Okay.
Then 7th, I'll come to Bangalore. From 8th, I'll go to Ooty and I'll act in a film that I've written.
Okay.
Okay. I'll finish that on 23rd or 24th.
Yeah.
Then I have some student films are there. I want to help them. I'll help them till October 1st or 2nd. October 3rd, I'll go to Sydney for another new play. I'll rehearse for 5 weeks and I'll do 46 shows in Sydney.
Wow.
Till December 18th. December 19th, I'll come to Bangalore.
More than anything else, I'm just admiring the photogenic memory that you have. You've literally by heart in the whole itinerary.
So, that is what I'll do. And after I come, I've got a very big project. I'm telling you now only. I'm going to do a big play on Dr. B.R. Ambedkar.
Okay. Can I get a role in that? Small one.
Of course.
5 seconds.
Superb.
I'll just run across the hall.
I'm not written the play.
Huh.
Dr. Sudhakar Hosaldi and another person that have written it.
Very good luck
superb
to
play.
everything, sir.
Ambedkar play.
Thank you so much for giving us this interview. I genuinely enjoyed this conversation, and I hope our viewers did too.
Yeah, I hope. I mean, if whatever you want, you use, and whatever is there.
See, the thing
you talk to a lawyer if you think they'll put me in prison.
You put me into this dilemma actually, because last time you said that. Then initially I was thinking, okay, some parts which are maybe not relevant, I'll take it out. But then I'm like, no, now I have to be the torchbearer of free speech. I will put everything.
You put
so this will go unedited as it is. Only the Shiv Sena might be upset with you. That's it.
No, I want to say it again. Please record. Shiv Sena is an extremist organization. They do not have a core ideology. They have fooled poor Marathi people who need identity, who need a grip on who they are. So they exploit their sentiment, that family to be in politics. The Thackeray family does not represent the true interest of the Maharashtrians in Mumbai. That is my opinion. I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Do let us know what you thought about it in the comment section below. For the first time after the pandemic, we have come out to shoot physical interviews, and so far we've been doing shows only from our studio. This has been a different experience. The idea is to loosen up, to have more casual conversations, but also talk about serious stuff, about politics, about philosophy, about literally everything with interesting guests from around the world. And we are going to continue this show for a few more episodes. And do let us know if you have any particular guests in mind that you would like us to interview. And इसको करने में बहुत मेहनत लगती है. It's not as easy as it seems. It's just an hour of binge watching for many people, but
behind the scenes, a lot of work is involved. You have to travel, you have to record at the place. The post production is quite traumatic. You have to go through every second of the video to cut out frames and to rearrange them, audio cleaning, audio editing. There's a lot of process involved in it. So our production team has invested a lot of effort, and my only appeal to you would be to subscribe to Swarajya on YouTube, and also to purchase copies of our magazine, where the subscription link is below in the description. The main team puts in a lot of effort to produce some good content, to produce some good quality journalism, and that's the main fodder that we can offer you from Swarajya. And whatever we can offer through the YouTube channel also we are doing, and our efforts will only continue if we know that we have your support, we have your backing, and you appreciate and admire this sort of journalism that we are doing. So that would be my final appeal, and do stay tuned for more such shows in the future. And अगर गाली देनी हो तो प्यार से देना यार, बस वो आखिरी रिक्वेस्ट है. थैंक यू सो मच.